You know what? Let's talk about some of the most catastrophic financial disasters in Hollywood history. Movies that blew their budgets sky high and then nosedived so hard at the box office they left studios questioning their life choices. These aren't just bad movies. Some of them are actually pretty good. But bad marketing, terrible timing, and a little thing called audience indifference led them straight into the Hall of Fame for Hollywood's biggest flops. So buckle up, because this ride is wilder than a Michael Bay explosion montage. The Electric State. First up, fresh flop straight out of the oven. Netflix, The Electric State. Directed by the Russo brothers, you know, the guys who gave us Avengers Endgame. This sci-fi epic had a whopping $320 million budget. Starring Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt, it was supposed to be the next big thing, but instead it turned into a big steaming pile of meh. What went wrong? Well, despite its breathtaking visuals, critics called the film soulless and emotionally empty. Audiences didn't exactly rush to watch it either because, well, Netflix tends to pump out so much content that even their own movies get lost in the shuffle. With an estimated loss of $250 million, it has barely made a dent in pop culture and will probably be forgotten in a month. John Carter. John Carter, the film that proved that just because something was written 100 years ago doesn't mean it needs to be adopted now. Disney spent $263 million trying to bring this century-old sci-fi novel to life, hoping to start a new blockbuster franchise. But here's the problem. The general public had no clue who John Carter was. It's like if someone made a $300 million movie about some guy named Bob and expected audiences to care. No hype, no strong marketing push, and a generic name that made it sound like a movie about a guy filing taxes. This film was doomed from the start. Despite grossing $284 million, the enormous budget and marketing costs meant Disney still lost nearly $255 million. That's enough to finance about 5 decent-sized movies. Or, you know, a small country. The Lone Ranger. You'd think a movie starring Johnny Depp and Armie Hammer with Disney's backing would be a surefire hit. Nope. Instead, The Lone Ranger became one of the biggest train wrecks in cinema history, literally and figuratively. This thing cost $250 million to make and only pulled in $260 million worldwide. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, at least they made their money back. Right? Wrong! With marketing and distribution costs factored in, Disney lost an estimated $256 million. And that's probably why we haven't seen another cowboy blockbuster since then. Hee-haw! Mortal Engines. Imagine Mad Max, but with entire cities on wheels rolling across a dystopian wasteland. Sounds cool, right? Well, Mortal Engines looked great on paper, but turned out to be as functional as a car with square wheels. What went wrong? Well, while giant mobile cities waging war looks visually stunning, in reality it ended up feeling more like a steampunk fever dream than a compelling story. Also, despite being backed by Peter Jackson, yes, the guy behind The Lord of the Rings, Universal Studios just didn't push this movie hard enough. With a $110 million budget, Mortal Engines barely made $83 million worldwide, leading to an estimated loss of $219 million. This movie was supposed to kickstart a franchise. Instead, it got crushed, pun intended. Cutthroat Island. Cutthroat Island holds the unique distinction of being so bad it actually killed an entire movie studio. That's right, Carolco Pictures, the company behind Terminator 2 and Total Recall, was wiped off the map because of this. The budget for this movie ballooned out of control, reaching $98 million, which in 1995 was insanely high. Originally, Michael Douglas was supposed to co-star, but when he saw how chaotic the production was, he peaced out faster than a pirate with a stolen treasure chest. At this point too, pirates went just in during the 1990s. It would take another 8 years before Pirates of the Caribbean made the genre cool again. So the film made only $18.3 million worldwide, leading to an estimated loss of $217 million adjusted for inflation. It was supposed to be a swashbuckling adventure. Instead, it was a financial walk the plank. Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. Another kind of pirate movie, bet big on the traditional hand-drawn animation with Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. Unfortunately, audiences were already hypnotized by Pixar's 3D revolution. And this movie, it did not stand a chance. In 2003, Finding Nemo was dominating the box office, proving that audiences were ready for the Pixar-styled CGI. Traditional animation? Not so much. This movie came out when DreamWorks was trying to compete with Disney but was struggling to find its footing. Even with Brad Pitt as Sinbad, the plot felt generic and failed to capture the magic of classic adventure films. With a budget of $60 million, the film grossed $80.8 million worldwide, racking up an estimated loss of $125 million. This flop was so bad, DreamWorks gave up on hand-drawn animation forever. Strange World. Strange World was supposed to be Disney's big, groundbreaking sci-fi adventure. Instead, it became one of their most embarrassing flops. Seriously, did you even know this movie existed? Well, neither did most people. It had the look of a kid's movie, but the themes of an adult sci-fi film, so neither audience showed up. And let's be honest, Disney has been churning out so much content that not every movie can be a hit, right? This one cost $180 million to make, and it only managed to take in $73.6 million at the box office. Estimated loss? $212 million. It's definitely one film Disney wants to forget about. Joker, Folie à Deux. Look, I get it. 2019's Joker was a massive hit. But did we really need a musical sequel? Warner Brothers thought so, and boy, did they regret it. When audiences heard it was going to be part musical, many, like me, immediately lost interest in it. The first Joker was made for just $55 million, but the sequel? $200 million. Yeah, that's a huge jump. Some fans, including me, weren't just sold on that particular concept. The result? Despite decent box office numbers, high production and marketing costs meant an estimated loss of $206 million. Turns out, not everyone wants to see the Joker sing and dance. Mars needs moms. This is it, the biggest financial disaster in Disney history, and it's about moms getting kidnapped by Martians.
What the hell is even that?
Concerning the horrifying motion capture in this movie, the uncanny valley effect was real. Characters looked like soulless robots. Kids didn't care about the movies. Adults weren't sure they were watching this one either. So who exactly was the movie made for? For some reason, Disney spent $150 million on this one. Why? No one knows. So it wasn't a surprise when it grossed just $39 million at the box office. Even Mars didn't want this movie. And there you have it, Hollywood's biggest flops. Let me know in the comments, what's the worst ever movie that you've seen? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Muveematic. Till next time, don't see a terrible movie, I beg of you. Peace.